To me in the room, that sounds great. That's amp-like. It is budget, multi-effects and amp modeling time. This is the AME-200 Pro from Audota, and in this video, we're going to find out if it's any good. Before we go any further, this is a sponsored video. This has been sent out by W Music Distribution, but all words, thoughts, bum notes are my own. A quick features overview. You've got a looper, a drum machine, 10 effects modules with over 200 effects models. There's space for 200 presets. It's an audio interface. You can use it to record to your computer or to your phone, and the Pro version is battery powered. There's dedicated software for Mac and PC, and you can download and install your own IR files if you want. However, there are a bunch of them already installed, and in the future, I'm told this will support NAM files. It does not currently, but it will do at some point. We're not going to talk about the NAM files in this video because they're not currently supported, and I can't review a promise. So if you like the unit in this video, know that in the future, you might be getting more added features, which is always a good thing. Right, let's put this on the table and see what you get in the box. So firstly, there is a spacer, a USB cable, which is USB-C to USB-A. Then over here we have another spacer with the power supply in it, I hope, yes. And because I'm in Europe, this is a European power supply. I'm taking a quick look, it's 9 volts and 1.5 amps. And then finally, of course, is the unit itself. That is wow, there's the unit itself. I say finally, but there are some instructions, or rather a quick guide underneath. Now, first impressions, I was expecting this to be made of plastic, but it isn't. That is a metal chassis on there with also a metal foot expression pedal. The foot switches are as good as they are on any other unit I've used. And the knobs, well, the knobs are a full turny one, and that's a pushy one as well. And they're sturdy. That would pull off if you tried, but there is nothing low quality about that build. Although it doesn't quite seem to sit flat. What's going on there? Is that my desk or is that the unit? Let's try it on the floor for a moment. No, it's my desk. My desk is not straight. I need to take a look at that. So let's do the all-important thing of taking that off the screen. That's very, very rewarding. And it went in the box. And if we take a look at the connections, I can mention something that I don't like about this already, and that is that the names for the connections are embossed just here, or extruded, maybe is the word. They're not written on the back, which makes absolute sense if you're looking down at it, which most of us will be. So you might be able to see them just there. They're quite difficult to see. They are not written around on the back. So already I would want that a little bit clearer, but once you've got it plugged in, you shouldn't really have to worry about it. For testing the expression pedal, I will of course be using my foot, but for now we'll put it on this little desk and I'll sort out the wobbling in a moment. As I mentioned, it does come with a power supply, but because it's battery powered, we can just switch it on and have a look at the screen already. Let's get it straight on the camera, shall we? There we go. So it's taking a moment to load up the operating system or whatever it is. And that looks like a more expensive unit. It looks like a Line 6 Helix. It looks like all of them. Now let's take a look at those connections again. Starting from the right, we've got input, then output left, output right, headphones, the USB, the power switch, and the input for the power supply, which is 9 volts, 1.5 amps, center negative. At this stage, I'm quite enamored with it. You know, you feel like you're getting a bargain. I really hope it sounds good. So let's plug it all in and find out. I've got it all plugged in. I've got the guitar coming in here. That is outputting to my monitor speaker on the floor. Then I'm recording via USB-C here, and I've got the 9-volt power coming in, which is charging the battery, or it has charged, but I can also take that out and power it just off the battery if I want to. As soon as you unbox this, I recommend that you press the edit button, go down to System, and then do a reset just there. And I'll go through this a little bit more in detail later, but do that reset, it will get it back to factory settings. Now this whole process takes only about 20 seconds to do, and I recommend that you do this because it will start you with a clean plate with all the presets exactly as they should be. So now with the clean settings, go into System, and we're going to need to calibrate the expression pedal. There. Go down there to calibrate, heel down, press next, toe down, press next. There we go. Now, unlike on, say, a Crybaby wah, there's no switch that you feel clicking if you switch the wah pedal on and off, which is odd at first, but if you just have a look there, it goes from saying EXP off to vol. So now I've done that, I know the unit is going to behave like I want it to behave, but before we go into the presets, let's have a look at the tuner. The tuner is really responsive. As I said, I've played with this already, so I've already tuned a guitar. I like the fact that in the middle it goes kind of green, or is that turquoise? Now to get back out of the tuner, you either press the back button or you just hold the tuner switch down again, or switch C, as we should call it. That's nice and big and cavernous. It's the Fender twin amp model on there. Units like this usually do well with clean and big. Sometimes they struggle with drive. Let's find out if this one does by finding a drive preset. Each bank has 4 presets. I'm on 1A at the moment. It's not touchscreen, by the way. I wondered if it was just then. And then we've got A, B, C, and D. I'm going to switch to bank 2C, like that. I'm aware it's a preset, but for me, the EQ is all over the place on that. It's a bit too bassy, it's a bit too crispy. I'm gonna have to try and build something a little better than that in a bit. Let's find another preset. I'm not impressed by that either. Everything seems a bit too mushy. It's fun to play, it's really noisy, but it doesn't, I'm gonna have to build my own things. Let's just try a few more. There are 40 built-in presets. I'm gonna find one drive that I like. I'm not getting any closer. Keep looking. Switching guitar. had to cut that in editing because it's going for a long, long time. And all the presets generally in multi-effect systems are always, often, mostly, overdoing it to try and show off what the unit can do. I like that one, just needs a bit of delay tweaking in my opinion. This bank 6 seems to be the weird effects bank, so let's find out what this one does. All right, next one. That I like. That is beautiful. That is very musical. Oh, it's still going. I like that very much. That's cool. Still haven't found a drive that I like. Still going. I found something I dig. This is great. Yeah, that's a great, clean, Fendery sound. I think oh, there's a fuzz. There's a big muff. I think it's the reverbs that are doing it for, or not doing it for me. I'm gonna have to build my own preset after I've played with a preset called Black Mouse, which has got to be a rat. Yeah, let's build a preset because I'm not convinced that the drives in here are doing what I want them to do. They might sound different to you because I'm monitoring it through a monitor speaker, you're hearing it through a direct recording, through your smartphone probably. Let me know in the comment section what you think. This is just my opinion at the moment. Found a wire. We have to check out the wire later when I can take it off the thing and use my foot properly. Right, as there are many presets, many presets. There's a clear bank. So 11A, we're going to call. I'm going to be very confident and name this straight away by doing system. No, hang on. How does one name something? Save. There we go. Andy drive. Now I've got something with a Klon, a Fender Deluxe reverb, an EQ, a plate reverb, and a noise suppressor that I'm now going to delete by holding down Edit and going to Yes. There we go. Now you can hear the noise. Now if I put it back on, there. Okay, let's have a play with this. I'm also putting it in play mode so you can see it says Andy drive. I think the noise suppressor is actually doing something I don't want it to do, so I am going to delete that again. To me in the room, that sounds great. That's amp-like. It's just on the edge of breaking up. It could do with a bit more brightness to it. So maybe a little bit more air, shall we say? Or just try dumping a little bit of the low end as well. I dig that. I'm super happy with that. That's an edge of drive or edge of breakup. There, saved. Andy drive. I do want something a bit more, let's say, Marshall-y though, a little bit more sort of, imagine plugging into a 4x12 with a Marshall head on it and thinking, yes, that's a rock setting. That's what I'm looking, Andy rock, that's what I want. Give me a moment, I will create one. I'm gonna put it there. Right, let's try that. The gate's a bit strong on that, but it's necessary. Let's see what I can do. Come on, gate. That's better. Still getting some hiss through, but it's fine and better without it. It could do with maybe a bit more tweaking on the EQ, but I'm fairly happy with that sounds as a Marshall style drive. Let's go through what has made that sound like that. Over on the left, I've got the tube drive, which is the BK Butler tube drive. That's how it was in the preset. I changed nothing. Then I've got that going into a JCM 800 style amp and cab. I did change the EQ on that a little bit. Page 2? How do we get to page 2? Because there's a 1 and a 2 there. And you can switch it on and off there. I wonder what the switch did. Okay, that's good. How does one... Oops. Oh no. I didn't save it. So I'm happy with that preset, and building presets is extremely intuitive. If you've ever used a multi-effects ever in your life, you will be able to use this. In fact, if you've ever used any digital device, such as the device you're watching this on, you'll be able to use this. It's simple and straightforward. I particularly like adding a level at the end of my presets so I can really adjust how loud that's going to be, because I tend to jump presets quite a lot and I don't want to have to adjust the master very much. I also like this control button here, and I've got it turning the overdrive on and off. In its current state, you can't go into patch mode and switch effects on and off using foot switches. So on other multi-effects systems that I've used, you can go into the patch itself and switch, say, the drive off or the reverb off with one of these. I can't see a way to do that. What you can do is use the control knob, and you can set that up as you wish by holding it down or going into the settings menu. And then I've got it to set the overdrive, turn the overdrive on and off. You can also have, say, turn the noise filter on and off at the same time. But I don't want to do that because I quite like having the noise filter on. You can also, let's go back, go to the function. You can have it as the tap tempo for everything, and then it'll start flashing. You can also have it set to the tune of the looper or the drum machine. But, as I'll show you now, you can already access that with a foot switch. So let's go back into my patch, and I'll just change patch quickly so it goes back to the setting. Oh, the control knob does not save, that's a global setting. So I want to go back and turn that back to effect on. Oh no, in fact, let's leave it with function on, with the function switch, sorry. I've just caused the unit to crash. I did this before, which is why I did the factory reset. There's something going on with the firmware that where you're in this control setting, it might not respond once you've changed the effect on and off in the control setting. Okay, Audota, you need to update your firmware to fix that bug. I'm going to fix it by turning it off and on again. Now let's go back to my Andy drive, and I'm going to show you the drummer. We hold for drummer, and then this is my drum machine. And that is loud as heck. So first thing I'm going to do is go in and drop the drums to there. And we'll have a quick listen to the drums, and you can decide whether you like them or not. Now there's no fill button, there's no program button, there's no sequencer, but it does that pattern until you tell it not to. And there are many, many drum patterns built in. You can change them by coming out of that and going down here and going through it with the scroll wheel just there, which is great. Or you can change it by doing that. So if you're in the middle of a performance, if you want, you can do it with your foot. Bossa Nova. There's also a looper that you can access with a foot switch. So you hold for looper, and then you've got a new screen, so these foot switches have a new function. So that is going to be record or play, so straight in, and then that one is stop. If you hold that one down, it's going to clear it. Now you can use the looper and the drum machine at the same time, but as far as I can tell, they are not synchronized. You cannot set the looper to record for, say, 8 bars. So I'm not going to record with the drums because it's not going to stay in time. I'm just going to record a simple loop. Yeah, I mean, it loops. The buttons are nice and responsive. Everything clicks when it should. I do wish the drums were linked. Maybe they are, maybe I've messed it up, but I don't think I have. What I didn't do was use the wah pedal. So let's have a go with that over that loop I've just recorded. And I'm not going to move the unit for this. You're just going to have to put up with me standing up and not see my head. You get the idea. One thing I did question was, that is a small expression pedal compared to my rather large foot, and it doesn't matter. I've used smaller expression pedals than that, and although I do prefer larger expression pedals, that is absolutely fine for what it is. Also, with the strength, I don't think you're going to have any problems in terms of wear and tear. It is metal. It does feel great. So there's a lot of power, a lot of good sounds, and a lot of functionality in this unit, which is outstanding for the money. It also has a few features in the Pro version that the regular AME-200 does not have. The AME-200 Pro has the expression pedal. There's a bit more power and storage space going on in the unit itself, but it also has Bluetooth. So if you want to stream tracks to the system you're using, you can just connect your phone to it and off you go, which is freaking cool for that money. Nearly slipped up then. All in all, for the functions you're getting in here, this is an absolute steal at this price. It's currently listed for just under 120 euros, with the Pro version being under 100 euros. I personally would always spend the extra to get the extra features, but if you're tight on cash, you're going to get the same sounds in the regular non-Pro version. This is a Pro unit. There's only a few things about it that I don't like. The number one thing I'm not hooked on are the presets of the drive settings. I think they're way overcooked. Go in, mess with it, program it yourself, or change a preset to be something that you like. You're going to get far better results than just looking at the settings on here that are already there and saying, well, this doesn't sound very good with my guitar. Make your own. Number two is the fact that these aren't labeled clearly. So if you do have something unplugged on stage, you need to know what to plug in where. It's not a deal breaker, it's just it could have been done better. And if there is a third one, it's the USB-C on the back probably isn't for stage use because USB-C is so small it can get either pulled out or it can get snapped off. That is not anything to do with this unit, it's just the nature of USB-C. I do hope that I'm pronouncing this correctly, Audota. And I hope that Audota do support this unit for a while. Because the number one problem with the cheaper multi-effects is company support. Future updates, future firmware upgrades. As your computer updates, is this going to work in 5 years' time? At $120, just thereabouts, it's not a huge concern, but I'm not a fan of electrical waste. So as long as this sticks around for at least 5 years, I'd be happy. Plus, the fact that this works without plugging into the mains is absolutely brilliant. And I noticed no difference in like a ground hum or anything else, a ground loop, battery or mains. And that isn't always the case. So if you're after a cheap multi-effects, if you want something that you're willing to play around with a little bit to get some good drive sounds out of, and if you want something that's going to take on the rigors of the road without taking up too much space, then the AME-200 Pro is above what you need. I'm truly surprised at what you can get for this money, and I appreciate the chance to show it to you. This is one of those units that the more work you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. Out of the box, you might not be happy, but with a little bit of tinkering and some playtime, you will be. As always, the links to this are going to be in the video description and the first comment. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. See ya, bye-bye!